Tombi Tomba Tombo Tombu or Tomba, depending on your country of origin, is a cute and whimsical Metroidvania you didn't know you wanted to play. Trapped behind a cartoon exterior, this 2.5D platformer, although flawed, is actually quite fun. You jump and climb around a mad world full of pigs and quests, trying to save it from super evil pigs. Needless to say, things are a bit weird and a bit porcine. But wait, did you hear me say Metroidvania? Well, yes. Between the backtracking and branching pathways in the platformer, this game definitely shows a sign. Taking into account its experience and equipment system, this game could be a long-lost cousin of Symphony of the Night. But how does it stand next to the classic Castlevania? In many ways, poorly. The lack of Symphony's challenging combat is a very noticeable aspect of the game. Although certainly satisfying, the various pigs and insects of Tombi don't exactly raise tension. But that isn't where the focus of Tombi is. It doesn't have Symphony of the Night's tight level design either. The areas in this game are open, in some cases proposing tricky platforming challenges, but in others appearing scatterbrained. This is definitely a dramatic contrast to Metroid and Castlevania's tight caves and corridors, but Tombi is mixing together a platforming style that relies on fluency. This game is actually a bit more about fun, it's a bit less serious. Castlevania games and Metroid games are a solid experience. They aren't exactly fun as much as they're tense and they're horror themed. They're games about exploring in a challenging way, as Tombi's challenges most of the time just in simple platform challenges. Tombi is less about the combat and more about jumping and soaring through the air like an insane cave kid. In no way am I suggesting that it holds up now as well as Super Metroid or Symphony of the Night or any of the other Metroidvanias that are ever so famous for still being really, really solid experiences today. But it does have its own things in its favour. It's a lot more fun, as in just childlike innocent fun. Not the same level of enjoyment, certainly. Its enjoyment comes from just a simple innocent romp. The areas are also a lot easier to navigate around. Although they are a bit scatterbrained, the general structure of the world is quite a bit simpler, possibly due to it being a bit more opened out. You don't have to refer to your map quite as often as you do in Symphony of the Night, and you won't get as blind, absolutely lost as you will in Metroid. Tombi's actual weapons are next to useless. Almost everything is solved by jumping on it and throwing it away. They're still quite interesting in their variety, considering they all essentially do the same thing. There is no difference between the blackjack and the boomerang, except that it looks kind of silly and quite fun. And the enemies don't have their huge variety either. They are all wacky and fun, but there aren't anywhere near the ridiculous quantity there are in Symphony of the Night. As with other games of this style, the soundtrack does blend into the atmosphere quite well. It's all very silly and tribal and fun. By no means does it build up an atmosphere. Any of the sort of atmospheric areas of the game are normally played up for laughs more than anything else. After all, you have this insane pink-haired child wearing shorts jumping around, who stores all his inventory in his stomach. No, the mixture of various percussions is quite good and invoking an almost tropical feel to the game. I'd like to think that that was what the people at Whoopee Camp were going for. So yes, to be incredibly brief this time, this game's quite a bit of fun, but doesn't really have the depth that other games generally have. The inclusion of NPCs is quite wacky and fun, and the quest as a whole is a bit simple and a bit silly. You find the 100-year-old man and the 1,000-year-old man and the 10,000-year-old man. It's just intended to be a bit silly and daft. But that's kind of the point. This isn't a game you're meant to be taking incredibly seriously. This is a game that you're meant to just pick up and have a bit of fun with. So in short, have a quick look at this, but don't expect anything quite as good as the serious Metroidvania games. Bum bum ba da dum dum da 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 bum 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 ba ba da dum bum ba na 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 bum ba na na da 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 da